your career is over, yeah, they're gonna say that you won, I don't know, two, three, four, five, whatever. Competing, you don't want to be called last year's champion. You want to be called the reigning champion.
Hey, right off the bat, Alex, man, thanks again. Thanks for doing this. And know you're in Spain and 5:30. It's about 20-hour time difference. So, but the first question I do want to ask though is, after the championship last year, what have you been doing for the last few months, just in the off season?
So I did a little bit of everything, honestly. I celebrated a little bit with my family, with the team also back in US before coming here, and I had a baby. I became a dad, and it's been exciting. It's been a lot of work. It's been even harder than a full season with the training. It's been a lot of a learning process, but it's been amazing. So yeah, preparing myself the best I can and enjoying a little bit as well. I normally spend the full season in US in Indy, close to the workshop and close to the races, let's say. And then I normally come here for a month for December to have Christmas with the family, with friends, and just to have a little bit of a relaxed time.
Well, how much sleep do you get now as a father?
Not much, but it's actually better than I thought, honestly. I think we've been a bit lucky with our baby that so far, she's only 2 months old, but so far is sleeping quite good. I need to get up once during the night, so it's not bad. And during the day also, she lets us work and do some stuff. So it's been good.
I think you already said it's more challenging now being a father than it is being a champion.
It is. It is. I mean, I had no idea about anything about babies or how to be a dad or how to just take care of a small human. But I knew how to race. To be a champion, it's only about putting everything together, doing the race weekends and being the best at the end of the year. But yeah, being a dad, it's simple. It looks simple from the outside, but it's tough from the inside.
So as far as last year, just go back a little bit to the championship. It's your second one now. Is there a different feeling the second time? Is it just as much enthusiasm, just as much excitement, or is it you've been there, done that, and it's okay?
It's actually more exciting, just because you know what to expect, or you're not wondering, oh, what's going to happen when we get to the last two, three races with the media or with your competitors. You know a little bit more of how the championship works and how the battle for the championship at the end goes. So you're enjoying a lot more the process. At least I was a lot more comfortable than the first time. The first time everything was new for me. It was my first year with the team with Ganassi. It was my first year battling for a championship, and I was like, oh my goodness, how is this gonna be? It's a long wait. Well, this past year in 2023, I enjoyed a lot. A part of that, we also had a lot more success on track. We won 5 races versus 3 on my first championship. So yeah, it was just an amazing season.
Now, when you get your Astor Cup, are you kind of like our auto racers, like Stanley Cup winners in hockey? Do they take it everywhere with them for the first few weeks?
You take it to some places the first couple of weeks. We the season finale. It was in the West Coast. We did a little bit of media in LA, so we flew to LA for a week. Let's say we took it almost everywhere, and then we went back to Indianapolis and we did some more media there. And then at the end of the year, I get my small one. It's a bit smaller than the Astor Cup, and it's one that you can keep at home, because it's actually the Astor Cup. The trophy is the same. It's been the same forever, which I think it's a fun part, and it makes it a bit more prestigious, let's say.
So, what's the craziest place you took yours during the off season?
I don't think there was a really crazy places, honestly. It was all very normal, just to like normal studios around LA. We went to the beach and took the Astor Cup there. I was with the racing suit, which that was weird, and had some interviews there. A part of that, yeah, it was just normal studios stuff.
Now, as far once the off season does hit, the season is over. Like, how does your body feel? Like, what do you have to recover most from after a long
Mentally, honestly. I think the body, it's tiring on like some places, like the lower back, especially. It's one that I struggle the most, basically because of the position that we are in the IndyCar. It's like you're not sitting like on a chair or a normal road car. It's like you're more laying down, and all the G forces, let's say, go to your neck and to your lower back. So yeah, I suffer a little bit on the lower back, but it's more mentally that you feel drained from just, I guess, being on track, and that tension that you have from getting results and trying to be the best you can. And once the season is over, it's like you can relax a little bit. But I didn't really take a lot of time off. I enjoy the off season a lot. I took like full week off of like doing absolutely nothing, just enjoying. But then I went back. I love the off season. It's like during the season, I can see some points where I would like to try new stuff. And then once the season is done, it's like I can start and trying the small stuff that I thought during the year.
Like, can you give me an example? Like, what are some of the things you would do during the off season, like to test
Swimming,
out?
for example. Yeah, it was something that I wanted to do during the season, but I was like, I'm not gonna change my training method and go swimming, because I never swim. But it was something I wanted to do. Sauna as well. I didn't wanna. Yeah, during the season, I don't really like to change stuff, but it was different activities that I thought I could do. I did during this off season. Swimming wasn't as fun as I thought. It was actually really hard, um, but it was good for training. But yeah, small stuff like that. Not nothing crazy.
When you say you don't want to change during the season, is that just a creature of habit? Is that kind of a superstition? Is it kind of why not mess with, I guess, with success, so to speak?
I would say because I once I have, let's say, my routine and how I prepare my races and how I build up to the weekend, I don't want to change that, I don't know, cardio session that I have, or that recovery session that I have for a swimming, that I don't know if I'm gonna feel good or not. And I think I take the workouts a lot, and the preparation physically, but a lot mentally as well. And I don't wanna. I think that if I would go and allow myself to do those things that I wanted, it was like getting a bit weaker mentally, because it was something that I wanted to do it.
Right.
And it was basically because I thought it was too hard maybe to go running instead of swimming.
So are you done with swimming now, or?
I'm done with swimming. I tried. I thought it was going to be a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable, but it's like running, but in a swimming pool. And yeah, you cannot go slower because otherwise you start
So
going down.
what is your training routine like? What's your normal?
So I do a little bit of I would say it's a hybrid CrossFit workout. I have my personal trainer Scott back in Indianapolis, and he just plans everything for me. And we do a little bit of CrossFit, but it's not only through CrossFit and going crazy on it, just because I cannot really get big or get a lot of volume, because otherwise in the car I cannot fit, or I don't fit perfectly, and you don't want to carry muscle that you don't need. So we do a hybrid CrossFit, normal weights, especially we do a lot of exercises that are only for driving, for the neck. Let's say we put a lot of emphasis on the neck, on the shoulders, on my lower back, because I'm quite bad on the lower back, and we put cardio here and there to try and be at least decent.
Back a little bit. Do you do anything during the off season? Massages, anything to work just out the soreness or the I guess the wear and tear from the year?
I did not. I used to have some massages, especially during the season, when I have, like, let's say 3 weekends in a row, that I need in between, when I don't really have a week off to work on it and to let's say get back into form. I get some massages, but during the off season, I normally don't really get those.
How long is a day is your workday like in season?
The workouts.
From the workouts to the racing to everything, that's all this stuff, the media stuff as well. Like, how long are your days?
So I normally go first thing in the morning. I go with Scott, like depends 6:30 or 7, and we can spend. It depends on if it's the off season or if we have a full week to prepare, or if it's race week. If it's race week, we take it a bit more careful. But we spend in between an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, it depends, and then we do some cardios in some afternoons. Depends on what he tells me to do. I try and follow.
Now, when it comes into now going for a third title now, is it still as motivating getting the second title? Is it still, do you have to find new ways to get motivated? Like, does being ranked second to Max Verstappen now as the best driver, is that like a kind of a fun motivation as well?
Yeah, it's a fun motivation. It's just a detail, but yeah, obviously it's a fun motivation. I would say that it's more motivating once you've done once you saw how it feels to win a championship. It's like you want that feeling again. You don't want to go back to what no winning feels like. You just want to keep on that feeling, and you know that to do that you need to work even harder than you did. And I think it's actually easier when you've been winning and when you've been having good times to continue on working and building, because it's like you find your way that works for you and for your body and for your mental state. And I think it's just tougher when you've never done it. So the motivation is there. I think it keeps on building. It's like you know you can win, so you need to take advantage of that and try and be the best, because everybody that didn't win last year was they've been working, I guess, a lot harder to try and be better and to try and catch us. So we cannot allow ourselves to relax just because we've won two. Because at the end of the day, being a champion only lasts for couple of months. It lasts from September to February. Once we are on track again, I'm last year's champion. I'm not this year's champion. So you need to try and be on your game again. And yeah, once your career is over, yeah, they're gonna say that you won, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But yeah, while you're competing, you don't want to be called last year's champion. You want to be called the reigning champion.
Does having a new sponsor like DHL, is that
Yeah,
pressure on you
that's
now? Is
big.
there more pressure now? Hey, I got to look good for these guys or else they're gone, or is that just another motivating
Um,
factor?
it's motivating just because well, not just because, but I mean, it's a worldwide brand. I see a lot of DHL trucks here in Spain, in Europe. It's all over. I think they are all over 200 territories in the world, so they are all over the world. And the car looks great. It's a massive brand that a lot of people recognize, and it's extra motivating. They join us this year for the first time, and they want to win. So obviously the pressure is there, but it's always there. When you're a racing driver, your work is only to win and to perform on track and off track a little bit, but especially on track. So it's great to have DHL in the number 10 car, and hopefully we can celebrate with them. I think they have a lot of hunger to win, and hopefully we can make it happen soon.
I mean, you're probably used to media. You're probably used to all cameras on you. But when you got CW, when you got 100 Days of Indy coming up now, is that added pressure? Is that just fun having people follow you around?
Well, it's fun and it's not fun. Depends on how deep they wanna dive in. On the personal side, I think it's fun to show what we do, but at the same time, you don't want to be showing how you prepare properly yourself, especially like training stuff. And yeah, you don't want any driver to get an idea of, oh, Alex is doing this. Maybe we should do this training that he does for his neck. So it's fun, but yeah, I think it's great for the championship and also for ourselves in let's say as drivers, as athletes. So people get to know ourselves. I think people, when they see pictures or they see us on TV, they think that we're not normal persons that do normal stuff. They think that we're um, doing something different every day, but we're just normal persons having a dream job and having fun with those racing cars. And I think it's great that we have the opportunity to with 100 Days to Indy and other media stuff to show how we are off track.
Well, are there any misconceptions about drivers that are kind of fixed here?
Well, I think people that is not really into racing, everybody drives, almost everybody drives a road car, and it's comfy. You have AC, you have power steering, you maybe have a seat that has a little bit of massage. So they think that being in an IndyCar for 2 hours and racing, it's comfortable. It's obviously a sport, but it's comfortable. But they don't realize that these cars are fast. They have a lot of downforce. We don't have power steering, and it's like driving the old cars. I don't know, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, without power steering, that you would have to like really steer hard and put a lot of strength to turn the cars, and that's how it feels for 2 hours. So it's you need to be you need to be strong, and you need to be able to last for 2 hours. And on top of that, you're racing really close to other cars. Mentally, it's very tiring. But I would say that's the only one. I think people enjoy it a lot more when they are on track, when they see how fast the cars are, because on TV, yeah, they seem fast, but the camera follows it really fast as well. But once you are there and you cannot follow it as fast with your own eyes, it's I think impressive, and a lot of people have a lot more fun than they thought when they come to the track. So yeah, I invite everybody to come and see us.
And this will be going back into your 2015 when you're young. And it was a GB3.
Yeah.
I went down the whole Wikipedia yesterday.
Oh, you did.
and everything kept saying good, but mistakes, accidents, mistakes. At any point of that year when you were doing that, did you say to yourself, you know what, am I good enough to be doing this? Am I really stuck here the rest of my career? Any doubts from those years?
I mean, yeah, there's always doubts when you're doing a sport and the results are not coming. But at the end, you always trust yourself, or you always have that confidence that you know how to make it happen. And maybe because of you're not 100% ready because of some reason, but you just need maybe time, or you just need a different environment, or you just need a different opportunity. But yeah, you need to always trust yourself. But yeah, there was doubts. It was really tough times, and those times are a lot tougher than now. For example, in terms of preparing myself, am I preparing myself wrong? Like, I'm not preparing myself mentally enough, or physically, or just technically. Well, now I know I have a way, and I just follow it. So yeah, there was it was tough, but I think without those bad moments, I wouldn't be maybe as strong mentally as I am now.
Like, how do you work your way out of, I guess, I don't want to say a slump or a rut, but just out of the lack of a better word, a mistake prone? How do you work your way to become a two-time champion?
Work, yeah. I mean, you just not giving up, I guess. That's the only. I haven't changed anything, honestly. I just changed the work, the amount of work, and technically, mentally, and physically. That's the only thing you can do as a race car driver. And I didn't really change. It's not like, oh yeah, I went to this amazing gym and I started doing something different, or I went to this group of people. It was just not giving up, and believing that the work would take us where we wanted.
So just believing in yourself basically is kind of the way you push
Yeah, but
through.
not yourself on the way of like, oh, it's not my fault, and it's happening because of somebody's doing something wrong. But I know that in me I can do it, and it's just maybe I need to put more work, and I'll be stronger, and I'll be more ready. So
I mean, through that, was there a piece of advice somebody gave you that said, hey, this is just be strong, stick through it, here's what to do?
I would say I've been very lucky with for example, having my family on my side, always very close. Like, they follow everything, and they've been supportive since day one. And I had a lot of great people around that they give you small stuff that helps you for a day or two, but it's only I would say the mentality of my family. We come from a family that was not involved into racing before, so let's say that we learned all together since the beginning, and we don't come from a family that could afford everything in motorsport. So we knew that that we were living a dream, that we were having an opportunity that was amazing, and that that mentality of enjoying and trying to get the most of the opportunity we had up front was what kept my mind wanting to work and wanting to make it work.
Well, how'd you know you're really good at driving?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Since I mean, I started when I was 5, so you do a lot of races. You get some good results, and you've been able to win against Jeff. So when you see Jeff again in another series and you cannot win, you know that you can do it. And maybe maybe it's not your day, or he's just on top of his game. But I would say that you're building confidence, and maybe the all the bad stuff that you go through, that that you can make it happen, because you have all this experience now that you didn't have before. So I guess that's how but honestly, when I go to the racetrack and I'm not the fastest, I'm like, man, what I'm missing. And then you need to keep on working. It's not something that I guess in all sports, it's not something that you do it once and that's it, you're a fast driver forever. You need to keep on being flexible, on adapting, on working and finding new ways to go fast. Because I know if I do the same as I've done in 2023, it's going to work, but it's not going to be the best because things change, people evolve, teams evolve, setups evolve. Maybe the track conditions are completely different. So I need to keep on working on my brakings, on my turn-ins, on my speed going through the corner. So I need to keep on working on every single aspect on the driving.
You have to change your approach from race to race. I mean, something like the Indy 500, is that something
Yeah.
that it's a total mental different
Yeah,
than anything else?
completely. So in IndyCar, for people that don't know, we have 3 different races. We have road races, the normal road track, the street races that are just tracks built in the middle of the cities with walls, and very bumpy tracks. And then we have oval tracks. And inside ovals, we also have short tracks, super speedways, which it kind of changes, but not so much. But when you're at the road track, it's more about being super precise because there's a lot of downforce, there's a lot of room normally to do small mistakes. So people is able to be at the limit quite easy, let's say. When you go to street courses, it's a lot more bumpy. The track is not made for Indy cars. It's normal streets. So you need to be a bit more adaptable, a bit more flexible, and a bit more conscious about the small changes that you do, because otherwise you end up in the wall. And then when it's oval, it's about feeling the car on the edge. Indianapolis, for the 500 miles, we are doing laps at 235 miles an hour average. That means that we get to the end of the straight at 244, 45, I believe. And it's a lot. It's very fast, but when you're driving, it's all about being super smooth and small inputs and feeling everything on the car. And that's when the mind, I think, kicks in, when the mental focus kicks in. And that's why maybe it's a bit more tiring on the ovals mentally than physically.
I was just going to ask that, like, when does the mental part kick in a
Well,
race?
I don't. Yeah, lately, honestly, I've never felt during a race that I'm lacking a little bit of mental strength, let's say, or energy. But once the race is done, you're like, man, I'm worn out. I'm done. Um, It's because when you're racing, you're really close to the cars, and you need to take super quick decisions on like I'm gonna overtake here, or I'm gonna defend here, or I'm gonna brake here, or you need to take a lot of fast decisions. And then at the same time, you need to be driving fast, obviously, and thinking about your strategy. Like, do I need to save a little bit of fuel so we have a faster pit stop, or we have one more lap when everybody needs to refuel and we can just go fast without having traffic? Or you need to be constantly thinking a part of driving, let's say.
How important is it to have a good team behind you to just give you that support and just be your eyes and ears and your, I guess, your conscience at sometimes, whether then.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, it's huge. So some people think that it's a one person sport, and it's true. I mean, it's a single seater, but I have 5 engineers. We have 5 engineers behind each car. That it's race strategist, the car performance, the engine manufacturer engineer that is looking at all the stuff, simulator engineer, and just more race engineers. So we have so many people behind each car, and then you need to add all the mechanics, because I mean, I could race really fast for like 30 laps, but I need to put fuel and tires, and then I need to do it really quick in like 6.5 seconds. So you need another 6 to 8 people behind the car. So behind an IndyCar, on track, there's from 10 to 12 people. So without those guys, you wouldn't be able to win races, or to finish the races. And they are constantly thinking what's best. Like, do we need to overtake our competitor now, or we can wait for 10 more laps because it's better for strategies, or when you want to change the strategy because you are, let's say, 10th and you need to overtake quick. What's the best thing? Is it to stop now or to wait? So they take all those decisions. As a driver, you try and put the car on the best possible position. But they do a lot of work that so many people don't know that they are doing.
Do you do any mental drills like during the off season just to prepare to stay focused for the 500 miles? Or is it something that's natural?
No, I mean, we do some stuff that my trainer does sometimes, but we don't have only one stuff that helps me mentally. I would say that the training itself every day, it's a mental work at the same time. It's tough, and it's not supposed to be easy. And when you go a little bit more, when it's 10 reps and you need to go 2 more, and he's here looking if you're doing those 2 more properly or not, or otherwise if you don't do it properly you need to do an extra one. I think those are the days and those are the moments where you work on your mental strength the most. And we do some exercises like what you say for mental reaction and mental clarity, but we don't do a lot. We have some here and there, but it's not, let's say that our workouts are not centered on that.
Are you a very disciplined person, regimented person? You do the same thing, same every morning, wake up the same time, eat the same time, train the
Yes.
same time?
Yes, except now with the baby that everything is messed up, and I sleep when I can and I wake up when he tells me to. But no, I have my routine. I always do the same. Normally, it changes if I have to go to a track or if I have to be at home and maybe go to the team workshop. But the first thing I do in the morning is I wake up, I have some coffee, and I go to the gym. That way I know that the worst part of the day it's over and I can have an easy day afterwards. But no, it's specially done so I don't miss any days, that I don't get into the meetings where I have interviews that go longer and then I'm like, oh, it's too late, I cannot work out. That way I cannot escape.
Is that a whoop you're wearing?
Yes.
How much do you rely on that?
A lot. Every day. I'm every day on it. I track everything, and sleep wise it's not been great, but oh,
You're in the yellow.
I'm
57.
yellow today.
Yeah,
Oh,
I got 98
I don't
today.
know.
I got
You got
94. I got
98?
I didn't do anything for the last 24 hours, so
Oh, so you need
Just been
to go
working
and
something,
push
so I got to
today.
go work out
So
later. So
I had 50, yeah, 57 or 58. Yeah, as soon as I started working out, you know that you have the trainer that tells you what the recommended strain is.
Mhm.
And as soon as I started moving, it started to vibrate. And I was like, oh, no, it's not going to be a great workout.
So how much do you rely on that then?
I don't like,
Or
yeah, I look at everything and I track everything, but I don't rely on that. I
what I
mean,
was trying, what did you do yesterday to get a 57, to earn a 57 and not a 98 or a 32?
well, I think it was just a run. I did some cardios. I did some sprints, like some interval training, which I'm really bad at, and maybe sleep. That I had, yeah, I had to wake up once. It was not too bad. So yeah, I guess that's the only reason why. It was, yeah, it was not a crazy workout, but yeah,
Now,
that's it.
been, like I said, stalked your Wikipedia, stalked your Instagram. Notice that you hung out with Laird Hamilton a little bit. I mean,
I
what did
did.
you
It
look?
was amazing.
What did he teach you anything about longevity? It's just about being great at well past 26 and 30, 40, 50.
Yeah, so it was an amazing conversation, and it was one of those conversations that after that you feel so excited and so wanting to do stuff.
Mhm.
And it was actually before my last race of the year. I already won the championship, but it was, yeah, it was Saturday night, and I felt anxious to start working on new stuff. So he told me a lot about longevity, and he said, "Yeah, Alex, you might not have any issues now, and it's easy. You're 26, you're young, but the key here is to keep on performing when you're 40, when you're 42. Like there's no drivers that perform over 30 highs, 40s, and there's only a few. Like Scott Dixon, my teammate, he's 42, I believe. He's won 6 IndyCar championships. He finished second last year, and he's still at its best. And we don't see that often in motorsport. I don't see that you see that often in sports, but especially motorsport. So he was right, and he told me that one day I need to go and do some stuff with him, some training with him. That he will try and teach me some stuff for mobility, especially, and that in the long term will help me keeping my form high. I tested some of his supplements, which was great as well, and it was fun. And that's it. I remain in touch with him.
What did you learn coffee wise about him from him?
Well, it was we tried different coffee stuff, and it was crazy how I felt with the coffee. I have some, so I from now and then I use a little bit, but I think I'm really sensitive, and as soon as I get a little bit with the mushrooms, I feel very alert and very ready.
So you don't know too much pre-workout then for you.
No,
That
I do not. I do not, because otherwise, yeah, I feel itchy, and I feel,
could
yeah,
that hurt you as a
ready
driver?
to.
Could something like that
Yeah,
actually affect you as a driver?
I don't think that would work. Yeah, I've never tried it, like getting a lot of pre-workout before driving, but it's not, for sure, it's not good to feel anxious and with so much energy. And normally, like, pre-workouts work for an hour or so, and then you just feel that you're going down, and that would not work great in the car.
Well, then do you have a pre-race ritual then that you go through every time so you don't get too high, too low, and you just stay right perfect?
No, honestly, no. I just I try and eat at my bus, at my motorhome, some food that is not too filling, just something that I'm not hungry. A little bit of carbs, but especially some protein and fats, which Laird was something that he was pushing me a lot on getting more fats for my mental stability and mental focus. And that's it. I don't really have a ritual where I always do the same, or I always eat the same, or the only thing that I do the same is how I put my racing suit, my gloves, my helmet, and all that stuff. But apart of that, I don't really have any rituals. I used to have a lot when I was younger, of like, oh, I need to listen to this song. I cannot talk to anybody 10 minutes before. But then you have media, or you have a fan, you have a small kid that is like, hey, Alex, can we take a picture? You cannot be like, oh no, I'm listening to this amazing song, and it's not the time for a picture. Yeah, maybe you're doing,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, his afternoon to that kid. So yeah, I don't really have any rituals. Exactly.
So you just mentioned though, Scott Dixon, your teammate, second last year. Is that like a fun challenge or a kind of a stressful challenge? Not even a stressful challenge that your teammate is now the one really shooting to just
It's
overtake you?
he's a big headache, because I mean he's one of the best, if not the best, IndyCar drivers that we ever had in IndyCar. He's won, as I said, 6 championships. The format, what he's delivering at the moment is crazy, and knowing that it's your teammate, it's really rewarding, because of how much I can learn from him and how much I can rely on him when I have doubts and or when I need something. But at the same time, is a headache because I know he has the best team around as well. That he will have the same tools as I do, and that he has a little bit more experience. So it's tough, but it's really fun. It's a fun competitor to race against.
That is, when you're not racing, when you're not training, what's one activity, one passion Alex Palou has that people would be really shocked that you do?
There's no passions apart of workout, driving and simulator. I drive online to prepare myself, but that's it. I don't do other stuff. I'm really bad at all other sports. I tried golf. I started doing some pickleball last year, which but people won't be shocked at that. And I'm really bad as well. So yeah, that's all I do, man. I'm a boring person, but I love it.
Just stick with what you're good at.
Yeah, I try.
Alex, I really appreciate this, man. Thank you. This is 40 minutes,
No,
about 15,000 questions maybe, but
thank you.
you
It's
got
it's great to